The New York City diner buzzed with life, but Nathan Caldwell felt none of it. As a billionaire with everything the world claimed to offer, private jets, global influence, and a name etched into skyscrapers, he sat in a cracked leather booth as just a man broken by memory. In his hand, he clutched a weathered photo of his late wife, Eliza. She smiled up at him from the picture, unaware of the cruel fate that would snatch her away 17 years ago. He looked at her face the way a starving man looks at food, desperate and lost. Every day since the accident had been a silent scream. The world saw a tycoon, he saw a widower. Nathan had poured his pain into progress, founding charities in Eliza's name, yet nothing filled the void. His only solace was his son, Jake, 12 years old and a mirror of both his parents. Jake sat across the table, swinging his legs and chewing his pancakes, innocent to the heaviness surrounding them. "Dad," Jake said softly, watching him stare at the photo again. "Do you ever wish she could just walk in here one day? Like it was all a mistake?" Nathan's heart clenched. It was the kind of question that pierced deeper than logic. "Every single day, buddy." The bell above the diner door jingled, and a gust of wind ushered in a young waitress with tired eyes and a radiant, practiced smile. Her name tag read, Maya. She moved with the ease of someone used to hard work and few breaks, balancing trays and sympathy in equal measure. But what caught Jake's attention wasn't her smile. It was something that shimmered faintly at her chest. Jake leaned forward, squinting. "Dad, look at her necklace. The pendant, it's the same as Mom's in the photo." Nathan frowned and looked up. The pendant was unmistakable, intertwined silver stars with a tiny sapphire in the center. He looked back at Eliza's photo. Identical. A design he'd commissioned for her himself, only one existed. Or so he thought. His voice came out cracked. "Excuse me, miss, your necklace. Where did you get that?" The waitress blinked, caught off guard. She instinctively touched it, her fingers brushing the gem like a reflex. "Oh, it was my mom's. She passed it down to me. It's the only thing I have left of her." "Why?" Nathan's hands trembled as he turned the photo toward her. She stepped closer, her expression curious, until her eyes landed on the image. Then the world shifted. That's her," she gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "That's my mother. How do you have this photo?" The air thickened. Nathan's grip on the photo tightened as everything around him faded. "That's my wife. Eliza Caldwell." She stumbled back, shaking her head in disbelief. "No. My mother's name was Eliza Turner. She died when I was 7. I don't understand." Nathan's pulse thundered in his ears. Eliza Turner. She had used that name before marrying him, her maiden name. Could it be? The thought that Eliza had a secret life, a child before Jake, or that someone had hidden this truth from him was too vast to comprehend. "What's your name?" he asked gently, every word a plea. "Maya. Maya Turner." Jake stared in awe. "Wait, are you my sister?" Time cracked open. They sat in silence after her shift ended. The truth unspooled like a frayed ribbon. Maya had grown up in foster homes, left with a photo of her mother and the pendant after Eliza never returned from what was supposed to be a quick trip. No one knew where she went or what happened. She was reported missing, and years later, pronounced dead. Nathan recalled the accident. Her car had gone off the road. Burned beyond recognition, they said. But what if someone else had been in that car? What if Eliza had escaped something? A threat? An illness? Why had she never come home? The questions were endless, but the answer was seated across from him. He had a daughter. And she'd grown up in pain. Jake reached over and took Maya's hand. "That makes you my sister. This is, like a movie." Maya's tears flowed freely now. "I've spent my life wondering who my father was. I never imagined I'd be serving him pancakes. Nathan choked on a laugh that became a sob. He reached for her hand, unsure if he had the right to hold it. She let him. In that diner booth, a family was reborn, not in fanfare, but in the quiet miracle of truth. But reality wasn't as neat as a happy ending. Maya refused Nathan's offer to move into his mansion. I don't belong in that world, she said. I still need to finish school. I still have people depending on me. Instead, she stayed at the diner, not as a waitress, but as a friend. One evening, she found Clara, a coworker, sobbing in the back room. Clara's baby had pneumonia, and she'd just been evicted. I can't go to a shelter with him. He's sick. I don't know what to do, Clara whispered. Maya didn't hesitate. You're coming with me. We'll figure it out. She brought Clara to Nathan, her voice trembling but firm. She needs help. Please. Nathan, looking into Maya's tearful eyes, saw Eliza in her. Not just her face, but her heart. He didn't just give Clara a place to stay, he paid for her son's hospital bills and offered Clara a stable job. That night, he made a decision. He wouldn't let another Maya grow up lost. The Caldwell Foundation was born from that promise. With Maya at its head, they built housing for single mothers, funded education for foster kids, and opened support centers for waitresses like Clara, women forgotten by a world obsessed with power. Maya didn't want cameras or fame. She wanted impact. Jake volunteered at every center, growing from a privileged child into a compassionate young man. He and Maya became inseparable, bonded not just by blood, but by purpose. One winter night, years later, Maya stood before a crowd of thousands at the opening of the newest Caldwell Family Resource Center. Her pendant sparkled under the stage lights. I was a girl who served coffee with a fake smile and went home hungry. I had nothing but a necklace and a memory. And now, I have a family. I have hope. And I will spend the rest of my life giving that to others. Because kindness saves more than lives, it saves legacies. Nathan watched from the front row, tears wetting his cheeks. Behind Maya on a giant screen was the photo of Eliza. Jake leaned over. She would have loved this, huh? Nathan smiled through the ache. She already does. And somewhere, in the hearts of all those touched by Maya's fire, Eliza lived on, not as a memory, but as a mission. Because sometimes, the smallest symbols, a pendant, a photo, a stranger in a diner, carry the greatest truths. And when love meets action, miracles are no longer rare. They're inevitable.